All I remember is it was almost as if a tornado came in and out.
It struck me that it was very important to focus on the human side of medical error, not just the technical side, what it does to people.
I feel like sometimes I just didn't find enough. Maybe I didn't know what the right questions to ask the doctor, and I feel very guilty. So that's what's done to me, is I feel guilty. I just don't feel like I have done enough.
For me, what I needed was the sense that somebody knew, that someone could empathize, someone really would feel what I was feeling. That was almost totally lacking.
Imagine this, if you look at a divide, and on one side you have the physician, and then on the other side of this divide is the patient and the family. And well, what are they experiencing? Exactly the same three things, you know, the fear, the guilt, the isolation. So you have two parties that are going through essentially the same sort of range of emotions, and yet they cannot access each other. There is a missing bridge of communication.
And it would be good when something goes wrong to be able to mobilize people who really have some expertise, to hold everybody's hand, the patient, the family member, and the clinician.
The younger physicians, it wasn't a fear in their face or a reticence, but it was a feeling that they didn't quite know what to say or do.
There really isn't a forum for talking about error, and there's a lot of discomfort. You know, physicians notoriously are uncomfortable or find it very challenging to talk about error. Most clinicians go through all of medical school, you know, residency training, clinical practice as attendings, and never had, you know, a single session teaching them how to sit at the bedside and conduct this kind of conversation. And it's an incredibly challenging skill.
Well, we've been so arrogant in our profession, I think, for a long time, that we think we know what patients want. We think we know what they experience, and we don't ask.
Perhaps the most critical thing is involving patients in safety committees and bringing them to the table in order to hear about what they're actually experiencing rather than inferring it.
The most important point would be to go see the patient more often, not less often.
Physicians, they're counseled by insurers or by institutional policies or by risk management groups to not use certain words. And in that setting, the pressure to choose the right words can be so intense that some clinicians choose no words at all. And that results in silence. And what we learn from patients is that that only compounds the harm.
Those times when somebody said either, "Oh, I'm sorry, that didn't go well," or if it was the person involved, "Ooh, I made a mistake." It was over, it was done with, we moved on.
I think that conversation, if done right, if done well, is critical to healing.
You have no idea how far a sorry will go